Welcome to another edition of Extra Connections. What is Connection Part 3? I've got two other parts that are out there. You can hear them or listen to them or watch them. YouTube, JLJ Media, they're on my channel, or just go to Extra Connections and where you found this and scroll back up and or down, however it looks like, and you'll find Part 2 and Part 1. This time I want to talk about work connections. Because people who you work, especially if you're an entrepreneur, it's very important what kind of connections you make. And we'll talk, there's several kinds of connections, but the one I want to talk about is work connection because I have a couple of connections that are actually bringing me business and and I just want to talk about that. So I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. I'm not going to say that person's name, but they were talking about how they're feeling that they're not making connections. They know people, they know people in our industry and stuff, but those connections aren't connecting to bring this person work or move them forward. And that's very legitimate concern. It's a legitimate thing. It's like who you can meet people and you can actually have people on your side, like just kind of, they're adjacent to you, you're doing stuff with them, but they cannot really, if they're not fully invested in you or you're not fully invested in them, nothing really comes out of it. It just kind of happens, right? I'm going to shout out this person for sure. Doug Hess, my buddy here from Indiana. We made a connection, and he saw something in me. I saw something in him, and the foundation was laid there. I say, I would tell people who come to my network for whatever reason, whether it's an audio drama or whatever. I have opportunities. If you want to do something with me, let me know. Pitch something to me. Let's work it out. And some people take me up on that offer, and he did with Forgotten Hollywood, and it's become a successful show for us. But more than that, over the last 5 years, we collaborated on so many, and we have collaborated and are collaborating on so many different things. And he's making connections for me. I'm making connections for him that are actually moving us forward. And I think one of the reasons why this really, really worked, the main reason why it works, we're on the same page in terms of we want to bring our personal selves forward and upward and onward. We want more than what we have right now. We want other things. We want bigger things. So we each have that in common. We're also close in age, both in our 50s. But we have a drive. And that drive is to help JLJ Media, which is me. But in turn, that helps him. So he sees the value for him in helping me. It helps him get that connection. Helping me, is this me, him, we come together, even though it's for the platform of JLJ Media, it helps both of us. I used to always say this when it came to co-hosting shows. AfterBuzz TV told me how to be a co-host because it was like a proper co-host, when you have two or three other people on a panel, everyone should get a turn. Everyone should get a say, get a turn. So the hope is you don't overstep someone's part. You don't come in guns blazing. You don't come in over talking them, but the whole point is you can still stand out. A good co-host stands out by being fully whatever it is they are in that moment. And if you're creating a personality or our personality, or do that. Be courteous to the others. Do that. People will go, oh, I love that panel, and I love so and so. And so you can still stand out. You still win. The show's a hit. You all are on a hit show. It's not the show's a hit and just you're a hit. It's you're all a hit. Yeah, some folks, I know, get bigger, just whatever the things are. But the point is, you can still have your piece of the pie if you pour into the mix. And so I understand that. And so what I love about Doug and I, we both pour into the mix to make a good, big, giant pie. He brings people to me, we tag team it all, we sell it, and then we split everything. Just about, you know what I mean? Like I said, everybody gets a piece of what they need to get a piece of. And I have other people on the channel too who are very invested and are in. So I just want, I want that to be known also. I have, I mentioned Anthony Japazzi, another person who we have a lot of voice work we do together, and we're very committed to him. I want to promote him and get him out there, and he wants to help me. So he's bringing his talent to me. I'm bringing my talent to him. Where it's a connection. We made a connection, and so I think that's very, very important. And I think that's really, it's something that we are continually having success with. So I mean, it's like these work connections really do work if you work them. I know it sounds like something else, right? But it's true. So you can't just meet somebody, one person does all the work, you kind of limp along, and then hopefully you'll reap some benefits, I guess. I think there's some people who feel like if I attach myself to someone, let them do all the work, then I'll reap the benefits. In some cases, that does happen, but in most cases, it's like, no, but I need you too. And for all of us, we always need somebody who's above us on some level, not above us, be like they're better than we are, but it's like who's further along than we are, like connection with them. So they see, and hopefully they see your value. Whenever I do these shows, I just do for a lot of these shows. There's so many people who, when I send a message, yes, I'll be on your show. They'll tell me my show is valuable to them. It doesn't hurt their career. It doesn't, make them look stupid. They know they're safe with me. That's a connection. I ask certain artists, can you come on? They tell people, oh yeah, I love James. Oh yeah, I'll go on the show. Because they want to help me. And I want to help them. Because I love them, I love their work. I want to help them. So it's it's that whole give and take thing, right? It's very interesting. And but it's a connection. It's back to connection. I've had connections just die. And I think it's because either that person has expectations that are so just not in alignment. You have to be in alignment. When it comes to work connections, you have to be in alignment. You can't each have competing agendas and then work together. It just does. I don't see it working. You can have some different things some outcomes you may want that may be different than my outcomes, but you have to have at least one main outcome that you both agree on, then you work together towards that. And then from that spawn, the other stuff. I know it's a lot, kids. Connection is, and connect with people. It's a crapshoot. Let's just be real. Somebody will say to me, you need to be so-and-so. Okay, you guys will love each other. Well, why do you say that? Is it because you love that person and you get along? Does it mean you'll get along with me? Or do you know them so well and know me so well, you feel like we'll get together and be great? So it's always a crapshoot when that happens. And I have people who will make, James, I have this great guest for you. Come on and do it. And so I reach out to them. They don't reach back. Poor connection there. And I almost feel bad for the PR person, the person who is trying to connect us, because they're earnest about it. They're doing their job. But it makes me go, well, I'm not going to chase after somebody to do an interview. I'm just not going to do that. We're not doing that. It's not that serious. It's also disrespectful. But at this point, this tells me that person is not a priority, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's not a priority for them. Being on my podcast is not a priority for them. It made it a priority for you who suggested it, and you have all these great reasons why, but a connection is not made. But also on the same token, I will say this: there are people who I had rocky beginnings with that once we sat down and had the interview, or sat down and had a meeting, like, oh, okay. So you have to have grace in there somewhere too when it comes to connection. Have grace. You just don't know. Right, you just don't know. And then some connections, they're so strong after all these years, we work ones, that I interviewed you years ago, but whenever I see you, oh my God, we just talk, and there's it's a wonderful feeling. I love connecting in this business, in a business that's very, what can you do for me? What can I do for you? I mean that in good and bad ways. I mean, we're all trying to make money. We're all trying to swim upstream. We all have projects. But to make genuine connections, which I have actually made some genuine connections in this business, it's a great deal. But again, I always say, for anybody, entrepreneurs, anybody, whatever out there, you have to, what's going on? Sorry, I'm looking at my, oh, there we go. Sorry, I have a thing. I was sticking up. Um, you have to have a genuine want to work with that person. You have to have a genuine want, a desire to, and that's what a good work connection is. So I'll stop there because I've been doing these. They've been about 5 to 8 minutes long. I don't know how long this one is. I can't tell. Looking at that, I can't tell. But it's just little thoughts of mine. I'll be sprinkling in with the interviews and stuff on connection because I really think, because like my friend said, if you don't have a connection with somebody or a thing or a purpose, you are aimlessly out there. We have to make these meaningful connections for life to really work. That's what I think. Extra Connections on Facebook. A lot of help.com is my website. My life coach in several areas. I'll talk to you next time.